Hello everyone and welcome to another What I Think review, and this is part 2 of my next mega review of the new B&M sets that are coming soon. As I said in the first one, I'm recording these in advance because I got these as advanced samples, so I don't know exactly when the release date is, but I have been given the go-ahead to release this once the press release is out. So if you're seeing this, the press release is out, their release date is common knowledge. Going by previous press releases, it's probably going to be in the next few weeks, but many people, myself included, will be posting about it on social media, so be sure to check that out to see exactly when we are getting these. But here we have History of the Daleks set 19 from the Parting of the Ways. In this we have the Guard Dalek, which is in black here, and we also have a standard bronze Dalek. Unfortunately this one got a little bit damaged in transit, but it's fine because I'm going to be opening this one anyway. But this one is the standard variant. There is another variant which is going to have the sort of assault claw on the bronze one, which I'm kind of glad that this means this is the one I'm opening, because the assault one is probably the one that I'm going to keep in the box. Again, as with previous ones, one of them is not more rare than the other. It is an even 50-50 split, you know, that 50% of the stock produced has the claw, the other 50% is the standards like these. But obviously, box-wise, it looks very nice, apart from the obvious here. So this is for the 9th Doctor. We've got a little bit more detailing in terms of the nice orange we've got on this. So maybe each of the Doctors, it seems, are going to have their own sort of different colours. Obviously, if we turn it round and we look at the back of the box here, we've got information about the actual episode, The Parting of the Ways. So I made mention of this in part 1 of my review of the Friend and Foes set, is we got information about the actual figures that were in it, you know, in terms of what was this, but this is very much just an example of the stuff about the episode in the back, rather than actually what is in the box. You know, it's not a criticism by any means. I'm just highlighting that is a difference which occurs from time to time. But let's get a look at what we've actually got in the box itself. So here we have our 2 Daleks out of the box. We have the Guard Dalek on the left, although I'm going to come back to the naming of this in a little bit. And then obviously we've got the standard one on the right, although as I said, the variant version of this will have the assault claw on it, so it will be sort of an assault claw Dalek. I don't have a huge amount to say about these, again, because they're pretty standard. I don't mean that in a bad way, but you know, it's a Dalek repaint. It's always nice to see a Dalek repaint. Obviously, you know, if we had the claw on here, it'd be nice to have a look at that, because I don't think I've ever actually had a actual version of the claw one. I never got one of the original ones. But obviously we've got a nice little bit of detailing on the base of this one here, where it's sort of slightly scuffed and things like that. One interesting thing I will notice is this one does have its little ident on it, but this one doesn't. I don't know if there's a particular reason for that, but it's just an interesting little thing of note. But other than that, as I said, they're pretty standard as Dalek figures. It's always nice to see these. And again, I have to say, although I don't have a huge amount to say about them in terms of them being Dalek figures, I feel like it is something which is going to be a popular set, because this is a prime way for people to army build, you know, and I know that bronze Daleks, and certainly we've never seen this, you know, this Guard Dalek variant before. It's one that is certainly a nice one to see. But on the note of the Guard Dalek, there is one thing that I would like to make a particular mention of with this one. Because although this one is listed as a Guard Dalek, it is probably and popularly more known as the Saw Dalek, because it would have this attachment on it, the circular saw. Now, this is one of my own custom ones. This is actually one of my revised custom ones, so this is the first time I'm showing it off. This will be going up on both my Thingiverse, and I will be making this available for sale through my eBay for anyone who wants one of these. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, they will actually be up there for sale. But it would be really nice, I have to say. We've got in this set, or at least in the other variant of this set, we're getting the Assault Claw Dalek, which certainly would have been nice. It's certainly nice to see that we're getting that variant of it. However, I do think it's a bit of an odd choice that they've given us this Guard Dalek, but they've not given us this saw attachment to it, which if either of these Daleks were going to have a different attachment, it makes more sense for it to be this saw one over the assault claw. That being said, I appreciate that everything that's in this set, you know, the standard Daleks and the Assault Claw, are all existing tooling. To do this would have meant new tooling, so I can understand why it wasn't done, but it is something which I feel I want to bring up and highlight, because it is something which I think people are going to pick up on. And again, I understand people's not concerns, but desires to have this in the set, but again, if it meant that they couldn't afford any particularly new tooling for this one and it had to be straight up repaints, I can understand why we got the Assault Claw instead. And again, you know, I'm not just saying this for my own benefit, because I know I'm not the only one that produces these claws. It does mean that, you know, customizers and people who sell appendages for, you know, Dalek customs and things like that, it gives us a little bit of business as well. So it's always a nice thing to see, you know, and it's always fun as well for the fans, I think, because it means that they can buy these up in bulk. Because one of the things that I tend to find with customs is having a spare Dalek plunger is always a plus side. So if, you know, getting this means then going and buying one of these saws from me or someone else who produces them, then leaves you with a spare Dalek plunger, I personally don't think that's a bad thing. Not trying to make myself, you know, a sale or anything here, but I think it is something which is worth pointing out. And again, there is also the possibility that they could re-release a single carded version of this in future with this saw on it. You know, I don't think that would be a bad thing for them to do if later down the line they get a bit more money to put into the tooling. Because again, as I said, people are going to buy these sets to army build, and whether they buy them here as a double pack or whether they buy them single carded later, they're going to buy them. It's you know, it's pretty assured that people will want to buy them. So. Yeah, so very much listed as a guard Dalek. The debate as to whether it should be a saw Dalek, but again, either way, it's a fantastic figure, and I certainly don't think that whether we've got a saw attachment like this or a standard plunger attachment, it doesn't detract from how good this figure actually looks. But that's pretty much all really I've got to say about these ones. As I said, there's not a huge amount to say about these, but they're really nice figures. The detailing is absolutely fantastic, and this Dalek, you know, the guard/saw Dalek, has always been a bit of a personal favourite of mine. It's a really sort of nice, interesting, slightly different design, so to actually see it properly realised in a actual figure is a lovely thing to see. But that brings to a close another What I Think review. As always, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot, and be sure to description below for a link to my Patreon. I am still doing my figure animation. There is still an update coming on it in future, along with the general future of my channel in the new year. But for the meantime, all of your donations are greatly received, and for the smallest donation you can get your name at the end of my videos. I salute you all, and I will see you in another video very soon.